Weldon Road. The championship leaders Castleford take on Hull, who've risen from nowhere to third. And some say Cass are wobbling.
We played poorly last week and caught the consequences, but we've just had a review this week and I'm very, very confident we're going to go away with the win.
For Hull, a top 4 spot is vital.
That's what we're struggling for and we're aiming for, and a win today would probably consolidate that for us.
Later in Scrumdown, highlights from a vital Division 2 match. Second place Barrow at home to York. But let's look now at the top of the championship. Castleford 3 points clear, but Widnes have a game in hand. Hull have played more games than anyone. They, like Leeds, must hope the top 2 slip.
Castleford, of course, did slip last week, giving Wakefield their first league win since New Year's Day. And one man who might well fancy Castleford slipping up again today is Doug Lawton, the Widnes coach, over here to see how they get on. You'd love to see Cass lose this one, obviously.
Well, obviously take the pressure off us a bit. I don't think they can lose it myself, but I would like to see them lose it, yes.
Very important day for you. If you were the Hull coach, what would you be saying to try and spring the surprise?
I'd be saying don't let that Gianna run and don't let him suck about 5 people on and get Wardy knocked down. Plus Cass have got a bit of pace out wide, but they'd be the 2 I'd be most afraid of.
We'll talk to you again at half-time and at full-time. Do you enjoy watching this kind of match, or is it too much tension for you?
No tension. I just think I'd rather sit at home and know they got beat.
And here are the men Doug hopes will lose today. Our first look on Scrumdown at Mark Gibson, signed from Bramley. Kenny Hill replaces Juan Gibbs, who's back in Australia. Keith England switching to the second row. And only Martin O'Fire has crossed First Division goal lines more often this season than Grant Anderson. He has 21 tries. David Watkins.
Yes, he's an exciting newcomer who has earned Great Britain under-21 recognition. Directs play well as a pivot, always looking to exploit weaknesses in opposing defences, and is a prolific scorer whose scoring feats have already captured the headlines this season.
Well, Hull may have lost 3 times to Castleford this season, but it was only 7-4 in the Challenge Cup, and they're more than capable of going one better today. And they're relieved that Gary Pearce has recovered from a calf strain. Bill Windley gets the voted scrum half, replacing Craig Coleman, who's rejoined South Sydney, and Steve Crooks has shaken off a knee injury. At standoff, Gary Pearce has become a vital cog in the Hull machine, and he's learnt the rugby league code now.
Has progressed well, a former Welsh Rugby Union international who this season has greatly benefited from the influence of Brian Smith, Hull's Aussie coach. A shrewd tactical kicker whose astute kicking has contributed to Hull's run of successes. He's also a prolific goal kicker, and this aspect of his play has been deadly. His distribution is good, and his all-round play has made him the complete footballer.
And as you see, there's a fair old sprinkling of Hull fans here to watch Pearce and his colleagues as we're ready to start the match with our commentators David Watkins and first John Hell.
Thanks, Nick. Yes, the Hull fans in particularly good voice. Well, Dougie Lawton talking about enjoying watching the match. I know I always enjoy watching matches here at Weldon Road, and they couldn't have better opposition today than resurgent Hull. We're in possession here with Fletcher the fullback. Well, Hull's defence has been in quite magnificent form in recent weeks. Gary Devorty will kick here. Awkwardly from David Ruckley, leaving it in the end for Chris Chapman. And David, as we've heard from both coaches, it's a vital match, one for Hull to make sure of a top 4 place, but for Castleford really to get back on the rails after that amazing defeat at Wakefield.
That's right, yes, they've got a lot to do. They know they have to put it right for their supporters as well. So it is important for them. But of course, Hull's revival has given their supporters a lot of heart as well. And Humberside needs successes, and Hull will certainly be looking for that this afternoon.
Good kick under pressure. It's still picked up by Paul Fletcher. He slipped a little there. The surface looks a little bit greasy. Richard Price, sprightly centre, a young man who's come into the side this season and has played for the Great Britain under-21 side to good effect. Sharp, and John Sharp makes a barnstorming run through the middle. It took the advancing Ruckley to halt him. Jackson across to Windley, coming up and missed out Tim Wilby, with Windley and Wilby in the side. There'll be a few tongue twisters today. Pearce putting in his first kick of the afternoon, not finding touch with it. So Shane Horrow, interesting, he slipped too. So conditions a little difficult underfoot.
Well, it is difficult underfoot, and it'll be interesting to see which side has to do most of the turning. Hull most certainly want to get down into Castleford's half. They've done just that. They've now got to pin them there.
Well, Hull kick as well as anybody with Gary Pearce in their side. That was our first glimpse of Kenny Hill, another Great Britain under-21 international. Both sides kicking a great deal, and this time it's skidded past Paul Fletcher. Have it back, he says to David Ruckley, who says thanks very much. Takes his time to get up. Now this is like the old days, and this has happened in 1 or 2 matches recently where the fullbacks have exchanged kicks. O'Hara did the right thing there, letting it go dead. And
yes, he did.
Castleford this season unbeaten here at Weldon Road, and look at that points difference. Windley switching the play and the point of attack, and very good play it was too, bringing Pearce into the line. Windley, the little chip ahead, and Kevin Ward as well. Took it one-handed. He's got hands like shovels as Kevin Ward, so not surprising.
They're playing with a lot of confidence at Hull. They are really pushing against Castleford, making the most of it now, and this is what they've got to do. They've got to put a lot of pressure on. They've got to get early points here at Weldon Road.
Ketteridge. This time it was Hill who was missed out, and it was Keith England coming up. Yet again the kick towards Paul Fletcher. Good tackling from Castleford's Mark Gibson, former Bramley player, who's come into the side recently. Blacker. Well, Hull away from home have won 7 and lost 4, as you can see, but they had a very strange start to the season. They lost their first 4 league matches and then went on to win the next 9. Go offside. Hull will have a penalty. But certainly both sides opting to kick a great deal so far.
Yes, they are. They're obviously going to conserve their energy for later stages, and it's both sides battling for supremacy. We are seeing a Hull defence very good. We've also seen Cass weather the early storm, put together some fine moves, and it's going to be an intriguing battle this afternoon.
Devorty kicks straight away. We've had 10 minutes, and I bet we've had 10 kicks as well. Hill. Now, and John Joyner sold a dummy superbly, and John Joyner sets the hot foot towards the line, and then he found that there was nobody who managed to keep pace with him. He's such a good footballer.
Well, Dougie Lawton said he would have to watch this fella, and John Joyner really has the subtle skills. He drifts past people. It was sad then.
Bob Beardmore hoists it very high, and this is a tricky one for Hull. And the ball came off O'Hara, and must be a try here for Chapman. Chapman falls on the ball over the line. Chris Chapman scores the first try of the game, and it all came about because Bob Beardmore put up a kick that was too good and too hot for Hull to handle.
Well, Joyner had made the position likely here. Beardmore puts her high up and under. And really, this has caught the Hull defence. Nobody went for the ball. As a result of which, nobody called for it. The ball bounced about, a comedy of errors, until it was an easy try.
And Martin Kettridge here has the chance to add on his 100th goal of the season, which he does, and it's the first time he's kicked 100 goals in a season. So Chapman, the try scorer, and Martin Kettridge, 100 goals. And well, he's obviously pondering at the moment, but he'll be happy with the scoreline. Horrow. Joyner and Ward again involved, and Ward got it through, and Beardmore kicks ahead, and the ball didn't go forward, so they were okay, but it's Hull who've fallen on it anyway. And O'Hara has run really well on occasions this afternoon, coming in from the wing.
He certainly has. He's found a lot of work to do. He's run strongly. He's run the ball out of defence on many occasions, and he's not been found in wanting as well in his tackling stints.
Pearce. Now that's a good kick over the top. He might just follow it up himself. Did. Brilliant! Absolutely brilliant by Pearce. And he sent Blacker streaking for the line. He must get there. And that was superb improvisation by Gary Pearce. Blacker was there at hand to finish it off. Hull are back in it. But that was absolutely pure brilliance on the part of Gary Pearce. Blacker's the scorer, but Pearce did it all beforehand.
Well, we said this boy has got a lot of now. He can do most things properly when he puts his mind to it. And that was sheer inspiration. A kick ahead, gathered. But watch this pass inside. Blacker, following up, knows now that he has to finish off that. What a superb move, and a try that really matters.
And it's Pearce who attempts to bring the scores back level, but not this time. So it's 6-4 now, Castleford's lead.
Well, brilliance is looked for in the game. Pearce kicks ahead here, catches the defence napping, regathers his kick. What a superb pass inside, splits the defence completely. He's got a clear run into the line. What a try.
Well, Paddy Khan, you're getting the instructions from Brian Smith up above. He's just been down. Obviously, delighted for you.
Yeah, it's going quite well for us. We had a bit of a bad start, but the lads seem to have settled down, and Brian's keep pumping me with a few orders to tell them what to do, so hopefully after second night should go our way.
And what are the orders?
Well, more or less just to calm down, start playing what we know we can play, and just let things come.
Paddy, thanks very much indeed. John Helm.
Interesting role that for Paddy Khan. He nearly played, actually. He was one of the forwards who was named in the squad, and would indeed have played if Steve Crooks hadn't been fit. But that's the importance of the game nowadays, isn't it? That the coach sits up in the stands and relays the orders to the bench.
I think sometimes you can, sitting in the stands, see more of the play from a better angle than at ground level. And if you have communication, as he obviously has there with the bench, it makes his life a little easier.
It's a good kick through here, and Horrow is over. Well, that caught Hull napping, and Shane Horrow immediately takes the initiative back for Castleford. A lovely little kick through by Beardmore, and nobody better to finish it off than Shane Horrow.
And
And again a kick involved.
Well, Bob Beardmore is always a good player for me. He's a wonderful scrum half, astute. That kick through is inch perfect. Or following up as a good wing should do, scores a great try.
And it's Shane Horrow's 10th for Castleford. He's got, in fact, those 10 in 13 games as well. Good average for the New Zealander. But it sounds like he's got his eye in now, and the touch judges confirm it. 2 important points, and Castleford stretch the lead to 12-4. So let's hear now from the Castleford coach, Darrell van der Velde, with Nick.
Darrell, you needed that, I think.
Yeah, it was a good time to come up with the try just before half-time. Good thinking on Bob Beardmore's part. It was an excellent try, actually.
Bob's in good form for a man who's not been in the side regularly over the last few weeks.
Well, he's got a lot more to do, actually. He goes for 80 minutes. I want to see him play football for 80 minutes like that. So he's got to be thinking and pushing us forward in the middle. So if he keeps on doing that, he'll stay in the team.
Darrell, thank you.
Fletcher, who Brian Smith says is the best fullback in the league at the moment. Well, Castleford have just achieved something that no other side has done for a long time, because Hull just haven't been conceding points at all. They've topped the 10 mark. This is Lee Jackson, the hooker. Sprightly run from him, but not a good play. The ball went back about 10 yards. Bad ball, but well taken by Pearce, who hands it on for Blacker. And David Moon going for that line, and only a yard short. Well, he'd love to get one, because he goes home to Australia tomorrow. Back to the Illawarra club. And they're only 5 yards out. But it was on the last tackle, so the desperate defending of Castleford paid off. Important for them now to get as far away from their own try line as possible. This is the second tackle, and it's Kettridge's turn. But, if Hull had scored there, it would put an entirely different complexion on the game again.
Yes, and it's shown the difference in the play of Gary Pearce, how he can draw a man and put a man clear as he did then. Superb stuff. And Cass know they have a match on their hands, but they are championship material, and they know they've got to hang on now until half-time.
Beardmore, Joyner, good running again here. And Gibson decided not to give it out wide to Chapman. But at least Castleford are back inside the Hull half. Well, they were until that moment there, and then Anderson slips it. The Hill, well, it's lively. The ball picked up by Ward. Chances here, surely. Tony Marchant has got Horrow with him. The kick through by Marchant. Can he get there himself? Good defending by Fletcher. And a sign of the old Tony Marchant, that. Well, tension down there on the Castleford bench, with Mick Morgan on this side of Darrell van der Velde. Nothing to say as a rule. Seem to have a constant problem behind too many balls on the pitch today. We've got 3 at the moment, still 2. And it's Hull's chance now. And there is the hooter. Castleford lead Hull by 12 points to 4, and David, an entertaining first half.
A superb first half. Castleford being rocked early on by the aggression and the straightforward play of a Hull side. They've come back into the game, they've scored the right time, they're fully deserving to be in front at 12-4. Hull have a lot more left in them, and it'll be interesting to see how this second half goes on.
So half-time at Weldon Road, it's Castleford 12, Hull 4. Chapman and Horrow the scorers of Castleford's tries. Blacker 1 for Hull. Join us again for the second half after this break. Welcome back to Weldon Road. Here come Castleford. They've been for the customary cup of tea in the dressing room, but not Hull. They decided their dressing room was too small, so Brian Smith kept them out here for his team talk. Well, let's hear from a coach with no such worries. Witnesses Dougie Lawton. He's with Nick.
Dougie, it's gone roughly as you expected, I think, hasn't it?
More or less, yes. They are giving John a bit too much room. He's getting himself in space. Wardy is doing a lot of damage, and I think basically for Hull, I wouldn't mind having that pace for a year under my wing. Make a good player out of him. He looks a good player. Other than that, I think it's going as expected. I think Castleford will do well in the end.
Do you see any way back at all?
They have got a strong wind, so maybe that'll help them. Pearce gets kicking well.
We shall see. The second half is underway. Here's John Hull.
Yes, Dougie Lawton obviously impressed with Castleford, and of course, let nobody forget Widnes have to play Castleford twice in the league this season still. Both those games will be midweek matches. Well, the scrums, amazingly, I don't think I've ever seen that before. Castleford have taken all 7 scrums in the first half. Not one against the head, mind you. And the penalties also equal 4 each. But Castleford have made one more mistake in their play than the visitors. Paul Fletcher, tremendous surge from the full back. Got away from Ward, the pass inside as well, collected by Windley. Well, Brian Smith, I was saying in the first half, reckons that Paul Fletcher is really on song at the moment, and he proved it there. What a strong run. Well, Brian Smith has obviously brought some Australian thinking over to our game. And on the whole bench, they'll be getting those orders there. Paddy Khan wearing the headphones. Ball was lost almost by Windley, but Sharp is there, and he's got Devorty in support, and Devorty has sent Dana Hara over for the New Zealanders' first try since September. Well, he's earned it today. He's worked very hard as O'Hara, and he's really been one of the great Kiwis in our game of rugby league over here, and the Hull supporters really appreciating that Hull are back in it.
Well, they put a lot of pressure. They've come out of the second half. They didn't go in the dressing room. They've come out really on top. Sharp sidesteps the defence, goes through, a loose forward, right on his shoulder as he should always be. Dana Hara, ever faithful up there, and that's a great try.
It's brought Hull right back into the game, and Pearce's kick will take them even further back into it. Sails through the middle, and Castleford now have their lead cut to 12-10.
Well, they put pressure on the defence. They cracked the defence. Castleford players are 6th and 7th. They just moved the ball out, and this is the start they really wanted, and they got it.
Well, this is going to be interesting. We saw at just after half-time that the scrums had gone 7-0 Castleford's way, and Hull are really hanging on well to say they've had so little possession.
That's right, but Hull have played well. Their defence has been good. They've come back with a bang.
And they broke the duck there. They got that one out. And Hull enjoying this second half. Here's Richard Price and Devorty. Price looks a good young player. Why David Topless has had him in the Great Britain under 21s. Tim Wilby racing towards the Castleford line. Oh, the ball goes loose. Can't possibly be a try. Wilby cursing his luck, but it was a good run from the former centre.
Well, they are stretching now this Castleford defence, and they're coming on. Horo has shown that he's injured once before, and they're making a play for running at him all the time, and that's good thinking, and that's important in a derby like this.
Well, that's straight out for Castleford and for Anderson here. Hull perhaps renowned more for their defensive work, David, but as they showed in scoring 35 points at Wigan this season, on their day they can be a handful in attack as well.
Yes, they can, and I've noticed in the game since Greg Coleman has gone back, Gary Pearce has asserted himself that much better. He's not afraid to tackle now. He moves the ball out quite well, and of course he's good at kicking either foot, and that's done him really proud this afternoon.
Oh, Bob Beardmore's kick, charged down by Devorty. If he can pick this one up and keep his legs, there must be a try here for Richard Price. Disaster for Castleford. Beardmore's kick charged down, And Richard Price was a certain scorer once Devorty had picked it up. Jubilation for Hull. And what an important phase of the game this is.
Well, perseverance is the hallmark of a great player, and nobody has shown that today more than this Gary Devorty has done. He picks the ball up superbly here, the backing up is inside him, he steps inside two players, and there it is, Richard Price scoots over for an excellent try.
I think Richard Price is just saying that he should have got a little bit closer, really. Could have gone in right behind the sticks. But Pearce is good enough to convert from anywhere. Can he do it this time? It's looking good. Swirls between the posts. It didn't matter to him how far out it had been scored. And Hull have come out and taken the second half by the scruff of the neck. 16-12 they lead, having been 12-4 behind.
Well, Castleford have depended so much on Ruckley to kick them clear. This time Bob Beardmore takes it, but persistency by loose forward Gary Devorty. And watch this pick-up after charging down the ball. Turns now inside Bob, who's trying to make up for it. Looks inside him, and there is Richard Price. What a try!
Paddy Khan, you were saying that Brian Smith was radioing down in the first half, stay calm. Now it's even more important to stay calm.
Yeah, he had a good talk to him at half-time, told him to settle the game down and things would come, and as you can see in the game, it's starting to come together for us.
And the support's improved for the man on the ball, it seems, this half.
Yeah, emphasis on that. He was making the half break, but like you say, the support wasn't there, but at the moment, you know, hopefully Mullen should go away.
Paddy, thanks very much.
Kevin Walters giving somebody a kiss in that scrum there. Oh, good kick over the top, and Price is racing up for it again here. It didn't bounce kindly for him, so Horrow has it for Castleford, but he's got no room in which to work. Castleford Hull are really on their mettle now.
Yes, they are, because they are changing their tactic all the time. They're not afraid to kick ahead, they're not afraid to put the chip through. They back up in the middle, they move it on the outsides, and that's been a fine fixture of their play in the second half, along with their total commitment.
And I think Darrell van der Velde is going to play his next trump card, because over on that far touchline, Roy Southernwood is taking off his tracksuit tops. There he is, a little scrum half. What a job he's got in his hands to come on, especially as Hull. Oh, with Jackson, we're in a good attacking position again, and Pearce follows through and makes a very good tackle, which wins a rich round of applause from Hull's fans. It really is a fascinating battle, not only of the two teams, but of the two Australian coaches, this one.
That's right, they have their different styles, and there's no doubt in which style is coming off better so far.
They're going to take Shane Horrow off. He has been slightly injured, I think, in any case. Ooh, that was a dangerous pass. Kettridge did well to hold on. Otherwise, Cass would have been in real trouble then. They're asking Ruckley to kick, and again it came off Hull hands. Oh, and then did well, Dean Sampson. They'll have another 6 tackles. Well, the ball bounced Castleford's way that time. Good passing here. Anderson in the end has to fling it over towards Chapman, who gets about on the tackle and move. And we're exactly halfway through an exciting second half. And every match these days is played at such a thrilling pace.
Well, you've really got to admire it. I mean, athletes, they get pounded, they get knocked down, they have to tackle, they have to bounce back up. But really, I mean, it is 100% commitment of both sides, and you've got to hand it to players these days. They really have to be fit.
Joyner, lovely little inside ball for Bob Beardmore. Last tackle again, and Joyner now will have seen that signal and gives it inside for Kevin Beardmore. Looking for the support, and it's there with Joyner. Now Ward. Well, that was typical Cass, throwing that ball around, and Kettridge will have to come back. So Mick Morgan holds up the number 2. Horrow comes off. Southernwood comes on. And there goes Shane Horrow, one of Castleford's try scorers. And Holt, 2 substitutes, both on that touchline as well. So it really is a very interesting tactical battle, as I say, between the 2 coaches here. Dannett gets Hull inside Castleford's half again. Windley. That kick should go dead. Yes, it does. Sets off, and he always looks to get the ball out of the tackle.
Yes, he is. He's a superbly strong and fit forward, but it's interesting psychologically now. The 2 Hull subs are warming up on the side, and that's a great psychological thing. The players on the field really want to stay on, especially when you're in front.
Sampson did well once more. Beardmore inside ball for Keith England, who always take them on. He'll run all day. And the Cass fans just beginning to roar. Maybe they sense that their team are coming back here. Joyner, good ball, Anderson. Anderson looks for the support, finds it. There should be a try here. Oh, it was blocked out, was the pass. The referee says play on. There simply had to be a try for the ball that ended up in Tony Marchant's hands. 6 more tackles. Sampson, Beardmore. Kevin Beardmore squeezes in. And what a good time for him to get that try. He's got 12 games without one. But psychologically, the perfect moment for Cass to strike back and equal the scores yet again.
Well, they've really put pressure now on this Hull defence. They've cracked and cracked, but Hull have stood manfully to the task. The ball comes in, and this is sheer aggression here. Aggression as he pushes the man over with him. What a great try.
A brilliant hooker's try, that. Using every ounce, as you say, of his strength. It was good play from Sampson as well to get him into that situation. Ketteridge with the kick. Not an easy one by any means. Oh, and it's just drifted across the face of the goal. Potentially, we have one of the grandstand finishes of the season on our hands.
Well, they've known they've had to get back at this Hull side. They've got a tire, they've put so much into the game themselves. And Cass know how important it is to have a try. It's ducking, diving, weaving, and he gets through by sheer persistence.
And Hull have brought on their 2 substitutes. There is Rob Nolan. Paul Wellham has also come out. There is Wellham, who's had an ankle problem all week. Had a run out yesterday morning, so they kept him on the bench. But they're bringing him on with less than 20 minutes to go. From the branches that Tim Wilby was going to be one of the players to come off for Hull, and then a late change of mind by Brian Smith, and so it's Richard Price who's gone off with Devorty. Well, David, I hate to put you on the spot, but I mean, who would you want to be on now in the last quarter of an hour?
Well, I couldn't say. Castle have shown their mettle as well by coming back when it looked as if they perhaps had sunk. But you have to give it to this Hull side as well. They come here with total commitment. They've run everything this second half since that half-time talking by Brian Smith, and they've really looked great stuff themselves.
Everything's happening out there. Wellham managed to get onto the end of the pass from Jackson. Goes again. There are so many willing workers on that field. Nobody will want losing pay from this one. My goodness, they've been in a battle. Jackson to Windley. Drop goal attempt from Pearce could be crucial in the end. Pearce has done it again. He's the drop goal specialist. This is 12th this season, and it edges Hull in front once again. Now then, Joyner. That one didn't quite come off. So it's the last tackle now, and John Joyner points out to referee Kershaw that that ball struck a Hull player. Therefore they should have had another 6 tackles, but referee Kershaw said not. So here's O'Hara with a chance to use his pace down the flank. Oh, and a fine tackle by Tony Marchant. Grit and determination written all over his face. It's had everything, hasn't it?
Well, it has. I've never been to a game that's been so exciting, and the closeness of the scores just relates that, really. I mean, it's absolutely marvellous. The commitment of both sides, the skill factor of both sides has been top entertainment.
Windley. Alan Pearce once more switches the point of attack. Oh, it's lost there, but Hull will pick it up, and there was a colossal knock-on. And referee Kershaw saw it all and gives the penalty for offside to Castleford. Ten to go. Castleford 16, Hull 17. Over the years, these two have produced some stirring matches. Few can have been better than this. England. Beardmore, Kevin Ward again. And of course a point for Hull would be much better than a point for Castleford.
Yes, it certainly would, and they deserve everything they've got.
Brilliant dummy from Bob Beardmore, the inside ball. Anderson coming for the line is the substitute back, Southernwood. Oh, and Hull almost conceding a try there. The Castleford fans roar. They're 10 yards out with Joyner. The ball here, the pass over. Marchant went behind him. Desperate defending. Joyner, Anderson, whenever Joyner's involved, you feel he might get a try. Oh, it's an interception for Hull. Has it ever come at a better time for them?
Well, he'll regard that as good a pass as the one he had when he scored his try, because it was so important.
It had been a lovely dummy by Bob Beardmore, who just needs one try for 100 in his career. Wasn't to be. And now a burst through the middle by Wellham, and he's got Blacker alongside him, and Brian Blacker heads for the line. Chapman makes a sensational tackle, but the referee awards the try. Blacker's second. They're all grinning, they're all cheering, and it's the black and whites who'll go further in front. And the early birds are really whistling.
Well, they were in desperate dire straits in defence, and they run it out of defence. Wilby pushes off a man, and the substitute now, he's come on fresh, and this is excellent. He goes straight up the middle of the field. Now he's looking for support. Is it going to be there? And it appears on his right-hand side. It's Brian Blacker again for a try against the post nearly.
Well, he's hobbling it, but he's happy. Well, last week I saw a sensational Phil Ford tackle on Martin Afire. I thought Chapman there, number 5, had done it again. But the impetus of Blacker took him over. And now Pearce with a straightforward kick pops it over. And Hull lead by 23 points to 16.
Well, desperate defensive pressures, but the fresh face that Brian Smith has brought on Wellham. They said he had problems with his ankle, but he sprints up the field. He's still got enough about him to look to where his support is. The support is there, going forward, brought down by an excellent tackle, but he's in at the post.
Good catch again by O'Hara. And that's a famous victory for Hull. They've come here, they've taken on the league leaders, and they've inflicted on them their first home defeat in the league this season in front of a crowd of 6,400. And the most delighted man was surely with the Hull coach, Brian Smith, who's with Nick.
Brian, congratulations. You're the first side to win the league here. How have you done it?
Well, by a lot of hard work, and today I thought our players played with a lot of confidence despite being labelled a team of parasites, which I thought was one of the most despicable statements I've ever heard a group of athletes call. And I thought they played unlike parasites today. They played like a team of people who really believe in themselves and believe in their club. I'm really proud of them.
Gary Pearce played out of his skin, we thought.
That's a great way to put it. I think that's the best game Gary Pearce has played since I've been in the club. Good all-round game, and I thought actually he tackled very well today.
And the substitutions worked superbly.
Some days you're a monkey and some days you're not. Today it came off for us, but that's, you know, I mean, the players make those things happen and they don't. And everything fell into place for us today.
Well, congratulations. Thanks very much indeed.
Thank you.
Yes, Gary Pearce has had a very good game. And it's also going to be interesting to hear what the Widnes coach Doug Lawton says. We'll hear from him later. So it's Hull who take the points. They've won here by 23 points to 16. There were a couple of tries there for Brian Blacker. And it's into the Hull dressing room we go to find David Watkins and the man of the match.
I think all Scumdown fans will agree this evening that we've been witness this afternoon to a magnificent game between Hull and Castleford. A superb performance by Hull this afternoon meant they ran out worthy winners. And for me, the Stones Bitter Man of the Match award rightly goes to Hull's number 6, Gary Pearce. Congratulations, Gary.
You might be able to get the lads a drink now.
Let's say thanks so much, David. It's, obviously it was a tough game, and as you know, the old cliche comes, it's a team game, and that's the way we play. We do play as a team, and obviously Cass gives us a big game today, and we just managed to stick in there and come up with the points.
Well, you are turning on most certainly good performances now, and with the Hull side taking over as they are, we can look forward to even greater and better things.
I hope so. It's, you know, it's a tough game, and we're always here to learn and just keep at it.
You've really got to pick up the team again, though, haven't you now?
Well, that's the coach's job. I think, you know, that's the first time we've lost 2 on a trot. We've always lost one, then recovered and come back better in the next week. But we lost 2 on the trot, and we lost them for the same reasons. I think, you know, we just lacked that desire and the hunger, and it's something it's an intrinsic thing that's part of my job, and I'm going to be looking at that very, very closely the next couple of weeks.
But the fixture pattern is extraordinary, isn't it? As you say, you've no game at all next weekend, and then you face a situation of playing 4 games in, what, 10 days? It's
ridiculous, John. It's, you know, and, you know, I've been critical of it since the start of the season, so it's not just now, and I just think something's got to be done about it, because it's, you know, it makes the championship a lottery, really, because, you know, if you keep your players on the field for 10 days, you win 4 games, that's 8 points. That's the crucial part of the season. That's a 60 games played in 10 days. What about the supporters, you know? But I'm over here as a guest and doing a job as a coach, so I can't obviously say too much about it, but it just seems to be strange to me. It doesn't seem to fit in with the pattern at all.
The statistical breakdown shows that Castleford won the scrums 9-3. Neither Kevin Beardmore nor Lee Jackson won any against the head, however. It was a game of few penalties, despite the fierce commitment. Cass conceded only 5 and Hull only 6, which shows just what controlled aggression is demanded these days. The errors in play were close too, Castleford making 11, Hull 12. Now, as promised, the views of the Widnes coach, Doug Lawton. He's with Nick.
Doug, that was not only a better result than you hoped for, but really one that you didn't expect at all, did you?
No, I confidently thought Castleford would win, but as you said, it certainly made the ball game a bit different now.
Now, you're the expert. Why did it happen?
I don't know. I think basically that Hull started kicking well and they got that lucky try, I think. A bit of luck with it. But certainly Pearce had a big game in the second half, and he kicked very well and did a few nice little touches. So, and they'd worked hard all the way through, to be honest. But I just thought it was one of them days when nothing seems to go right for Cass.
You'd fancy Gary Pearce in your ranks, wouldn't you?
I'd like to have him for this close season first, you know, see what we could do with him.
Now, where does that leave the Championship?
It's still, I think, wide open because I was looking at some figures yesterday, and it's our hardest running that we've ever had in the First Division. I mean, normally with this time of year we have played about 20 games, whereas this time we only played 16. But having said that, there are lesser games to play.
How will that affect you? Because you've got a lot of games in a very short time.
Yeah, we've got 2 a week on average till the end of the season, and obviously a lot will depend on what happens next week against St Helens for the Wembley thing. So it will affect us. Now, I think we should be favourites after today's result, but I still think it's all to play for and all to go for. Now, as Castle I wouldn't be despondent, I'd be upset about being beat, but I wouldn't think me league had come yet.
Well, now today's main news. Leeds keep up the pressure. Phil Ford grabbing 2 more tries to see off Wakefield. Andrew Ettingshausen also got a try in his last game before leaving for Australia. Elsewhere, Kelvin Skerritt's 2 tries helped Bradford win at Warrington, for whom John Woods missed a last-minute kick which would have brought victory. And Les Holliday with a rare feat, 3-drop goal as Halifax win for once. Full results: the Stonesbitter Championship. Castleford 16, Hull 23. Halifax 21, Salford 12. Kingston Rovers 18, Wigan 19. Leeds 28, Wakefield 16. Oldham 40, Featherstone 18. Warrington 22, Bradford 23. Division 2. Barrow 12, York 26. Batley 15, Bramley 12. Chorley 7, Swinton 31. Fulham 21, Workington 19. Hunsford 32, Mansfield 15. Rochdale 32, Dewsbury 30. Runcorn 4, Carlisle 48. Sheffield 25, Doncaster 26. Whitehaven against Keighley, match postponed because the pitch was wet. Well, as Doug Lawton was saying, the top of the championship is looking very interesting. Hull have moved into 2nd place tonight, remarkably, within a point of Castleford, but they've played a lot of games. Widnes and Wigan, by contrast, have games in hand, and Leeds are still in with a chance. Halifax are off the bottom after today's win. Bad day indeed for Hull Kingston Rovers, with Oldham also winning. Top of the 2nd division, one change among the top 3 here. Doncaster leapfrog over Sheffield by beating them. Lee keep their 5-point lead despite not playing today, because Barrow surprisingly lost at home to York. And we can now see how it happened with Keith Macklin.
York coach Gary Stevens dropped 6 first-teamers for not attending a special training session and saw his patchwork side go 2-0 down to a Marwood penalty. But then York produced the first of 5 excellent tries. As the ball was switched left, veteran Mick Scott's wide pass put the Australian Mulherin through a gap, and his perfectly timed pass sent in Paul Atkins for his first try. St Janellis kicked a great goal from the touchline to make it 6-2 for York. And although Marwood landed another penalty, York went in at half-time 10-4 with a superb try in which Atkins, St Janellis and Bleakley handled, and Payne went through a huge gap. In the second half, another Marwood penalty gave Barrow hope, but they fell apart as York ran in 3 cracking tries. Scrum half Chris Hamilton, outstanding for the Minster men, made the big break which set up the position, and then Horton sent in Bleakley. Next, it was the elusive Hamilton himself, taking a pass from Gary Atkins after Williams had made the half-break to go over from close range. Barrow had gone to pieces now, their handling moves breaking down time and time again against tigerish York tackling, which brought lavish praise from their coach Gary Stevens after the game. The 5th try was another great long-range effort. York started the build-up in their own half, moved it nicely to the left, and there was the Australian Mulherin again to give a final perfect pass to send Paul Atkins through unchallenged for his 2nd touchdown and York's 5th. Barrow at last got a try, merely a consolation effort 2 minutes from the end, made by Marwood and Burns for Crary. Marwood landed his 4th goal. St Janella's completed 3 goals for York, 26-12 for York, a result which brought Barrow's first home league defeat of the season.
And now a bonus for you from Australia, a glimpse of the pre-season repeat of last year's grand final, Balmain in orange versus Canterbury.
Try! Good try to the Tigers. Takes the tackle now. Neal moves into the dummy half position. The Tigers want another try. Here's Freeman. Getting a pass away to Moss. Moss steps off the left foot. Goodson looks for support. Back for Neal. Back to Hardwick. Hardwick scores! Oh, that was good stuff.
Well, next week we're looking at the First Division relegation dogfight with Featherstone playing Hulkingston Rovers. We leave you though tonight with a question. How important might these tries at Weldon Road be in deciding the championship? Good night.